Why are you? I am extending the rope. Why are you not grabbing it in your quicksand?
That sounds like there's the meme I found one time where it's like, I'm mad. Here's the solution. I don't want a solution. I want to be mad.
He was just. It was great because, like, I was like, you know what? I can't go to bed yet, so I just got a sloop, and like, he still had his Reaper flag on, right? So I could find out where he was on the map. So I just filled my sloop with nothing but bombs, and I just sailed toward him, and I yelled on my megaphone, "What is your name?"
Also, I'm looking forward to the fact that, I totally forgot to change the games on the stream, so now everyone thinks I'm playing Neon White. But also, I'm looking forward to checking the VOD as soon as this goes up to see if the first thing everyone hears is, "Why are you still a dick?"
I mean, in our defense, you didn't say we were live yet. At least I didn't hear it.
Well, I didn't have time. I was trying. But yes, hi.
Why are you still a dick's probably like up there with one of the best stars we ever had on this show.
Stop being an asshole.
We just started and we're already putting out quote of the sessions.
It was just great. I was like, I don't care. Just please. I've seen AI with more personality than you. I took your chest. Yes, you did. Good. Hercules. Answer me. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your favorite color? Do you own a dog? Put your dog on the ship. Let me see your dog.
If you own a dog, why is your dog not your mascot? Like, why would you not have that up in front of you all the time? Because you have a dog.
Oh, I know why. Because one time, one of my friends had a pet, and I was sneaking onto her ship, and he barked, and everybody knew where we were, and I was like, I swear to fucking God, I love that dog, but God damn it.
Oh God. Man, but hopefully everybody has been hanging in.
Mm-hmm.
Back. Why are you betraying me? But yeah, if barring Vic goes slightly running behind tonight, but we can get started with session stuff proper. Hopefully by the time he gets here, he can participate with the key events. But if you guys are all set, I think we can go ahead and get started for this evening.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. And I only just finally managed to get it, so that way I could actually have it changed to what we are actually playing right now.
Sweet. Alright, with that being said, welcome one and all to tonight's episode of Chult of Personality. When last we left our expeditionaries, Rue, the human druid monk, Tired Bane, the Minotaur paladin, Elise, the Wood Elf Ranger fighter, Zetto, the half-elf sorcerer, Enoch, the human warlock, and Dan, the half-elf witch. The party was in contact and conversation with the supposed exiled queen of Omu, Zalkore. Rather curious as how a being of her stature could be alive after this many years, considering that she was around before Omu fell. The party snuck away and decided to consult with one of their long-lost guides, Orvex, who was currently dealing with his ambassadorial duties with the Minotaur tribes. It was after ascending that Orvex revealed to the party that apparently Zalkore had made a deal with the devil in order to grant herself a long life, and she was shunned and exiled for it. Meanwhile, as this information was being given, Rue was rather enthralled by a black flower that was within Zalkore's possession. Seeing as how Rue was interested in this flower, she offered a trade for it, which Rue gladly took. With the Black Orchid in hand, and as the party thought to withdraw and reconvene on the situation to see how they would proceed, after a long rest inside Henrietta, the doghouse, just outside of the ruins, Rue cast Speak with Plants to communicate with the Black Orchid. It was there that the plant itself revealed Zalcori's habits, including her frequent trips into the large central dome within the complex. After taunting some of the Eblies who were keeping an eye on them, they returned to inside Nangalore and explored the main central dome, which housed a statue of a large Chultan warrior wielding a shield and spear, as well as a statue which seemed to be reaching for an urn. But as the party thought about the situation a lot more closely, the Eblies returned to the party as they were spying on them from the balcony. After a heated battle, which also summoned Zalcori, who managed to reveal her true self as a Medusa, the party had slain Zalcori, but not before she had inadvertently petrified Shago. So, how will the party proceed from here? And will they be able to discover what is going on inside Crucible? Let's find out in tonight's episode of Chult Personality, as I remember to bring you guys over to the map once more. Yeah. So,
We killed a Gorgon.
yes.
News.
Well, no, we killed a
And-
Medusa. You don't want to see what a Gorgon looks like in D&D.
Well,
They were the same. Like my ancient Greek is kind of out of practice.
Yeah. Understandable. Medusa was a Gorgon, technically.
The Gorgons were a race. Medusa was a specific Gorgon.
Mm-hmm.
But in D&D, they are split, whereas a Medusa is more like what you would know a Gorgon to be, while a Gorgon in D&D is just a giant stone creature.
Mm-hmm. So, as you had also freed a seemingly new companion in the form of Goal. He is also standing with you guys as well. And Zeno and Elise, as you look at the back of the statue, you realize something else is written on there. It seems to be in a language you guys can't recognize.
Lisa's gonna look over to the general party, and say, "Found some more writing. Neither of us can read it. Maybe one of you can."
Yeah, Enoch, we might need your special eyes.
I think now everything in this temple can wait as he's moving over to petrified Shaco. And he kind of just looks up at Elise. Is this one of those things you can fix?
Not at the moment.
Sorry, I meant Rue.
Wimdy Roo on no Wimdies. Yes, I
On
can.
Wimdies.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I am more than positive I have that prepared. Let me take a look.
It's one of the ones that's a pretty good go-to.
Yep, I do have it prepared. There we go.
I need to click to unwindy you. Alright, my apologies. Alright, Greater Restoration. And I trust you have the diamond dust on hand?
Wait,
I have a hold on. I have a diamond.
wait a minute.
Rewind. Rue takes out her full diamond. First things first, though. Are you able to
Above
turn
game,
that to
doesn't
dust?
Tirebank still have that, or the other two restoration things from the?
He can only do lesser restoration with those. He spent his one charge
Yep.
of greater.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
had to double check because I was like, wait a minute.
I mean, yeah, got 10 minutes to wait. Well, actually, no.
She shrugs. I mean, he's really the one that ends up waiting. She points to the statue.
Okay, cool. Because, but yeah, so Enoch will spend his last spell slot that he has to fabricate, and he'll be like, does anyone want to chuck in any more diamonds if we have them, just so we can have this on hand?
Well, I mean, this is a diamond worth 500, so after this, I'll at least have 4 more rounds of it, so to speak.
Okay, well, and Enoch will also take out like a little bit of like parchment that he probably has on him from his explorer's pack, put the diamond on it, then fabricate to just reduce it to diamond dust, and then hand over the little parchment, just kind of like holding it out so that way it doesn't spill any.
And once that's done, then I cast Greater Restoration.
All right. As you expend your spell slot to cast Greater Restoration, the dust swirls around and blows upon Shago, and you see that, much like when Tyrant Bane had freed gold from his petrification, the cracks just begin to emerge from the stone as they flake and reveal the flesh underneath, and Shago is cured of his petrification.
There, don't worry, you're fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what she was, but she's dead now, so there's a plus.
Now that we fought them, can I have Zeno roll to see if that jogged his memory?
Arcana check.
If that was a sneeze, bless you.
Thank you.
That one, he is even more confused.
Yeah.
I
Not too often you see people. I was gonna say not too often you see people with stakes on their heads.
I have Arcana proficiency. Do you mind if I do it?
Sure.
Like Zeno's just gonna be there. She turned into stone.
18.
What the fuck were we just fighting? She turned him into stone.
You've heard of one being that could petrify things with a gaze. Yeah. Humanoid-like creatures called Medusas.
Please looks at Zeno. Medusa. Never encountered one myself, but I've heard plenty of stories of them being able to turn people to stone.
Well, remind me never to encounter that again, because that was fucking terrifying.
Other than being turned to stone, are you injured, Chago?
Yeah, fine. I'm fine. As he just kind of touches his face and collects himself for a second, but then as he looks up, he has that wide monkey-like smile on his face again. I'm good.
And hey, silver lining, we learned something important. My little tags can't actually stop people from being turned to stone, so good to know.
On the other side, Shago would probably make a very, very charming statue, buddy. Maybe a masonrist back home could go ahead and make a statue in your honor, huh, Shago?
I mean, as long as the statue's not me, I suppose.
He leans over to Enoch. Soon.
Yep.
Like above you, I kind of want Zeno to chat over. I get it.
Oh, did you actually say something, Rabbit? Didn't come through on my end.
No, I
Okay.
was just laughing.
All right, well, give me a second. I gotta go play translator. So what is it?
All right. You look on the back of the statue, and you recognize the words are written, "Forgive me."
It just says forgive me.
That's anticlimactic.
just about everything at this temple has been anticlimactic or horrifying, and we still have one more place to check out.
Where's the last place we need to investigate?
Oh, there are a few other little buildings over. She'll point in the general direction of over here.
Oh, I see.
But there's also the horrifying amount of spider webs over in the other corner.
Yeah, Rue, I told you I don't like spiders. Can we not do that one?
She just kind of idly shrugs. Very well.
All right. So you're making your way over towards the northeast pagoda?
Might as well.
All right, let me go ahead and reveal this.
I'll lead the way.
This crumbling pagoda must have been lovely once, with its wide, graceful arches inviting the breeze to blow through and overlooking the silent pool below. But time, decay, and some bestial presence has given it a sinister air. It smells foul, and dark stains cover the floor and seep down the white steps. Inside there are scattered about a bunch of different nests. There's various rubbles that are scattered. Let's see. Is anybody going to be looking for anything in particular?
I'll investigate for anything out of the ordinary.
I was gonna say specifically no, but I'll like snoop.
Yeah.
All right,
same.
investigation checks for
Sure.
anybody that wants to.
16.
All right.
Come here.
23.
And just hit. 11.
6.
Natural 20 for Zeno there. Very nice.
And
All right. Let's see. We'll just kind of go down the list. Tyrant Bane. As you're kind of tucking away in one of the nests you managed to investigate, you happen to find 2 gemstones that are tucked into this nest here.
Oh. Gemstones here.
Let's see. Enoch, as you're investigating, there's a nest nearby, and you scrounge around, and you see there's looks like a wooden scroll tube.
Enoch will open the tube and see if there's a scroll inside, and just for the sake of it, 1 second. Do.
As you look at the scroll a little further, with your other sight, as you kind of get a look at it, the first thing of note is that the scroll tube itself looks like it has carvings of skeletons that are strewn about it. And as you cast your other sight upon it, you sense abjuration magic coming from it.
Got a magic scroll. Might be useful to Dan.
I was about to go, Dan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I forgot he's not here
We'll
yet.
pause that interaction once he gets back. But
I'm just
I'll
gonna
hand the gemstones off to Rue. I know they're valuable, but do you know how valuable they are?
Well, how can I tell? I guess gems are technically earthy, so to speak.
kind of.
Ooh,
guess
ooh,
you
it's a
probably
rock.
called it-
You know those.
It is. I do. Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
earth.
History or nature check, I'll say.
Hibishki. 22.
22. If you had to make a fair assumption, you could probably assume that they're worth 10 gold pieces each.
Okay.
And Zeno, as you're investigating another nest, inside that you managed to find 5 more gems and a gold bracelet shaped like a winged serpent of sorts.
Ooh. Anybody who has identify can you come see this? I found something cool.
Is it magic?
I don't know. That's why
I am asking Milla.
But you don't sense any magic coming from the bracer or the
Well-
bracelet.
It's not magic. I think it's just pretty.
I'm keeping it.
Remember, I can't tell if it's cursed or not.
Give me just
above
a
game, and
second
Dan's
here.
not here yet.
You say curse, and I just look over toward Zeno and just hold up my hand.
Well, as I'll just say, if you'll offer to Dad, he's like, well, I suppose you could give me a few minutes, assuming he would ritually cast Identify on it.
Well, I
Probably.
would also point out again as Enoch. Remember, Identify doesn't tell you if it's cursed. Remember the staff.
Well, to be fair, yes. And after ritually casting Identify on it, oh, this is fascinating. This is a scroll of protection against undead.
I'm
That's
definitely
actually
keeping
rather
this.
useful.
Oh, the scroll or the bracelet?
The scroll would definitely be useful against any remnants of the Black Day that might be around.
Probably. Also, to answer your earlier questions, she'll give the gems back to Tyrant Bane. Those are about 10 gold pieces, I'd have to estimate.
Oh, 20 gold would definitely help out the tribe. Cool. Just seal them away inside my toga.
What type of gems did we find, or did I find?
That is a very good question. Let me go ahead and let's see.
Because I want. Let's see. So snake, gold, place, left.
Let's see. These go. Let's see. Treasure 5e, 10 gold. Gems 10 gold. All right. So there are 7 of them. We have a Hebolite, which is an opaque gray-black gem. An eye agate, which is this one's going to be a white agate. A lapis lazuli. Another lapis lazuli. Another lapis lazuli. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3 lapis lazulis. They all hate it here.
What are all that? They just want to. They just want to just go into the bottom of the ocean and just sulk.
A light peak rhodochrosite. And another lapis lazuli.
Many
So
lapis
4
lazuli.
lapis lazulis, an eye agate, a rhodochrosite.
Think of all the enchanting table things you could do with that.
Indeed.
Yep.
So the Epilogue was white, right?
Yep.
And then the agate was gray, 4 lapis lazulis
Oh.
and 1 pink. Yeah.
Opposite. The Hebolite was gray and the agate was white.
All right. I'm just typing it up, so I'm like, I gotta get this right.
I say Hebolite. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's a hematite.
Oh, all the crystal moms in chat just left. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you just disaligned all their chakras at once.
Well, time to get the salts.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, I spelled hematite correctly.
Now, I do have one question. Who was it who discovered that there was stuff under the water? Because I remember that being mentioned last...
It was mentioned. I think we all saw it.
It was kind of hard to see, in particular from the balcony, but at least as far as when Zeno, Tyrant Bane, and Elise were up on the balcony, there was wildlife that was swimming along, but as you kind of get a closer look at the pool, and I'll read that off again for everybody. The water of this pool is unusually clear. A dozen or more large fish, turtles, and lizards swim lazily through it, and water birds paddle on the surface. There are ripples obscure something on the bottom of the pool, so you can't quite make it out. But the bottom appears blanketed in oddly shaped stones. Bits of shattered stone rest atop a square dais that rises from the middle of the pool, evidence of a sculpture that once stood atop it. Part of the sculpture lies in the pool west of the dais, a large stone face staring up at the sky.
All right, well then, Enoch will hand the scroll in its case over to Rue and be like, Give me a second. I'm gonna go investigate under the water.
All right.
And then comes the advantage of something that people always forget. Enoch no longer needs to breathe, so...
Haha.
And just let the fact that he is made of mostly metal at this point, just let him sink to the bottom.
Like a rock in a pond.
By the way, Bill, I was distracted earlier. Did you say if Elise found anything or not?
Oh, let's see.
I rolled a 6, so more than likely
6.
nothing of note.
Yeah, you didn't find anything out of that. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to elaborate, but yeah.
That's alright.
As Enoch begins to descend into the water, as you're looking down in the pool, yeah, this pool's about 10 foot deep, and you look around, it's a lot easier to see that there's various, as you're looking at these oddly shaped stones, they look more like animals. Like you see, the bottom of this pool is just coated with all these stones. There's ones that are of fish, there are some that are of turtles, birds, some occasional some small lizards. There's occasionally some other mammals, like some squirrels. There's one that's a flying monkey.
Enoch will activate his Eldritch Sight to see if anything's magic down here.
You don't sense any magic down here.
Okay, Enoch will climb back out. So, darndest thing, the entire bottom of that pool is covered in stones of different kinds of animals, fish, just wildlife, etc. None of it's magic, it's just interesting. Maybe if the water was clear, it'd look pretty. I don't know.
Rue just kind of hums in thought. Did we get a good look over here, or was it just the underwater?
Oh, as far as oh, from where he was at? Yeah, that was a statue that was sitting on the dais, or the ruins of the basement statue.
Which must have been the first bobblehead, judging by the size of the head next to it.
Yeah, that was pretty massive.
Yeah. There's a lot of the statue that's still there, like maybe about the torso is still there, but or the lower torso's there, but the upper half is crumbled and fallen into the pool. Actually, Enoch, just for clarity, could you place yourself back where you had stepped into the pool initially? There. Okay. You swear off in this direction in the pool here.
Could you ping again? There it is. Okay.
There we go.
You swore you could see a larger form that's resting in the bottom of the water.
Enoch would be like, I think I might have saw something bigger. I'm going to go check again. And he will head over this way. And I forget, is it day or night right now?
It's late afternoon, I say. You got here pretty early initially when you were exploring Nangalore.
Okay, then there's still sunlight. He should be able to see at least a certain amount because it's only a 10-foot drop. So he won't activate dancing lights. He'll just get closer and try to see what it is.
As you make your way closer, you realize that in the water here and here are two large human-shaped statues.
Huh. And are they standing upright, or do they look to be, like, fallen and in disrepair?
They're kind of, as you're kind of looking around with all the stones that are scattered about, you see kind of sticking out of where the pile of the stones are. Yeah, you see one statue poking out here, and then one statue poking out here.
You know what?
They appear to be
Sorry.
human-shaped?
It occurs to me that with all this talk, we kind of totally forgot to talk to the other dude we helped.
I imagine he's just hanging out with Dan at this point.
Yeah, that works.
All right, Enoch will inspect the statue, starting with the closer one here.
All right. The first statue you see appears to be a man. But then as you look at the other one, it looks like it's a woman in the other statue.
Now, I know we've only seen a little bit of the actual architecture and like stonework of Omu and stuff. Does the woman look at all like, say, Queen Napaka?
Let's see. Give me an intelligence check.
Oh, this will be funny. Do. Yeah, that's a 7.
7. Well, she doesn't look like the Paka, no. If you had to hazard a guess, you would say that the statue is of a Chultan woman. And now that you mention it, as you look at it, it looks like that's a Chultan man here, too.
Okay.
Or actually, no, I take that back. They're both women.
Ah, okay. Well, Enoch will go around just a little bit more, see if he sees anything else, especially checking around over here.
Yeah, as you scan the waters around the pool here, yeah, that's really all that's of note here is just the 2 large statues and all of the massive pile of the animal rocks that are at the bottom.
Ignore that.
All right, Enoch he'll get up here just so he can yell back at everyone without calling all the way back. Yeah, aside from a couple of statues of some Chultan women, I don't see anything worth mentioning down here.
Ah, more victims. I assume.
Ah, shit, I didn't think about that. Let me go make sure that they're not actually statues or not. Enoch goes back into the water.
Is there a way we can check?
I'll say before he goes into the water. I'm going to see if they got bases like normal statues.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, that would work.
Dad thinks about it for a moment. Well, if I cast Identify, I can see if they're affected by anything.
Well,
Possibly.
If you can find the ones without bases, I could go ahead and help you carry them to a safe place and we can identify them.
that's also true, though. I'm not sure how it works, but I could also possibly just animate them if they're technically, like, no longer people until you cast your spell on them, and just make them walk out. But let's see here.
All right. We'll come down to a consensus then.
Yeah. So, can I at least first check and make sure if they are actually statues or people frozen?
Let's see. So are you attempting to cast animate object on the statue?
No, not right now. Right now, I was
Oh.
just trying to make sure if they are actually statues or people who have been petrified.
Roll an investigation check, I'll say.
All right, and Enoch will also bring up his dancing lights underwater to try to inspect them more closely to see if I can possibly get some help on that.
Alright, yeah, that'll help with your DC.
Okay, that's a 14.
Yeah, now that you mention it, as you're looking over these 2 statues, they bear a strikingly realistic depiction of a statue. Kind of similar to Goal when you found him in his condition.
All right, give me 1 second here. I need to check. I'm just going to bring it up over here so I can read easier. Okay, how many medium-sized things can I animate at once? Animate. It's Constitution, blah, 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 blah. Trying to see here.
If you cast a spell using a spell slot at 6th level or higher, you can animate 2 additional objects for each spell slot above 5th.
Yes, but I need to find out how the number of things you can animate is also based on size. That's why I can summon.
Okay.
That's why I can summon 10 of my arrowheads. So,
Let's see. Medium objects count as 2 objects. Large objects count as 4.
Okay, so yeah, I can animate them both, but I'm gonna have to wait an hour.
Yeah, up to 10. So small objects and tiny objects would count as 1.
Yeah. All right, so Enoch will head back up above water. It's like, okay, yep, they are petrified. We're gonna need to. I can animate them and get them on land, so that way we don't got to worry about breaking anything. But I'm gonna have to wait because I'm out of spells.
How deep are they?
It's only about 10 feet down.
I can at least restore 1 right now.
True, but we also don't know if they swim.
She smiles. Fair.
Are you sure you don't want me to go ahead and carry some?
Might just be faster.
I mean, if you want to.
Elise would also volunteer to try to, like, bring the statues, quote unquote, ashore.
Alright.
The sea cow makes his move. And he selects a statue and scoots it along.
Alright. As you guys make your way out to the water, it's gonna take you a little while because you have to kind of dig out around where all of these stones, assumedly at this point of possibly petrified creatures, have kind of, been settled around the statues. You're gonna have to remove a bunch of them out of the way first. It takes some time, but give me athletics checks for the both of you to bring them back.
All right.
This is important. Would it be long enough for a short rest?
Let's see, for a short rest.
That would be an hour, which would also give me back my spells.
We'll say that in the time it takes in the hour, yeah, Tyrant Bane and at least you managed to drag the 2 statues. As you're moving along the water, managed to get them out of the water and back to the pagoda where the rest of the party's at.
Elise kind of, like, in Elvish to herself, like, does, like, a silent prayer to, what's his name? The spirit that I was possessed with, Kubazan.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of awkward because you kind of have to, as the statues are kind of in an awkward position, you have to kind of walk them up the steps. Basically, the steps themselves are about, like 10 feet down the water, so 10. You basically have to move them up like 30 feet up these steps in order to get them out of the water.
There we go.
And she's able to get it, and she's just very gingerly trying to carry it up to the stairs.
Well, that's 2 more. We should probably talk to everybody once we get them all sorted because we don't know how long any of y'all been here, and he just looks at Gull.
Yes, your guess is as good as mine. Well, that is a good question. What year is it?
Hello. Insert
Hey,
ear
Draco.
here.
Well,
Right.
what do you remember about Chult and the surrounding area beforehand?
Gold kind of shrugs at this point as hello, Draco.
I was gonna say let's put a pin in that and
Yeah.
we'll catch you up to
Pause.
speed.
Pause
basically
game.
to get you up to speed. Everything that's happened so far. Everybody went to the pagoda where the Ebleys were nesting. Since you weren't here yet, everybody would have assumed there was a scroll that they found, which I assume Dan would ritually cast Identify on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scroll of protection against undead.
Ooh.
And inside the pool, apparently there is a bunch of petrified creatures like fish, turtles, lizards. And he also found 2 statues, which also bore a strikingly realistic detail like what you found gold. So Elise and Tyrant Bane have dragged them out of the water and into the pagoda where the rest of the party is right now. And you guys have gotten a short rest in.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
piss. There you
Hey,
There
finally
it
noticed.
is. That is 36 minutes. New record.
Aha!
Wow.
You were counting. You were counting.
Scoop cat never leaves the scoop.
This is why you always have to have the Twitch comments on in the background, because we were actually wondering how long was it going to take to take it, and none of us said shit.
None of you. All of you are in on this.
I was told not to say anything when I came in, so I was in on it.
I just
Tiny-
made the decision on my own to see. I wonder how long it's gonna take him to realize Scoop Cat.
Oh, I'm never going to say anything.
I was gonna
Mainly
say,
because I don't have the icons. I only have the names, so I never can tell.
yeah, rest assured, Rabbit, I will never tell you.
Same. I love Scoop Cat, so it works for me.
I was
too.
about to say, is it because you like Scoop Cat so much?
Yes, of course it is.
Yes, that too, but still.
Little Scoop Cat. Is this what you want? Is this what you want, chat?
I love him.
Just Tyrant Bane just
Yes.
standing there all sad. I just holding up a Scoop Cat. Is this really what you want? I
And
love
by the way, chat,
What
all
have
of
we
you
got?
for not pinging Rabbit, y'all the real MVPs of tonight. Wonderful job. 10 out of 10, no notes.
But yeah, so we have 2 more petrified people, and we haven't found anything, and we're trying to figure out when exactly Goal got petrified. We also saved Shago.
Nice.
As Gold kind of thinks about it, it's this year. You just see the expression just turn to horror. I've been a statue for at least 20 years.
In all honesty,
Well,
that's
good
not.
news. The Black Day is done.
In all honesty, that's not too bad. We found a bunch of people trapped in a mirror for anywhere from 1 to 200 years.
Ugh.
It's best not to
Uh,
question it. Trust me, it saves you the headache.
It's
Out
still
of curiosity,
my
Mila,
job.
how old does he look?
Oh, let's see. How old does Gold look? Doesn't really specify. He looks fairly young. Probably about older than Enoch, to be sure.
I mean,
Uh,
if anyone is younger than Enoch, they are basically a child.
yeah.
Mhm.
If you had to make a guess, probably maybe like in his 20s.
Eh.
You know, of all the people who used to be statues, Rue is the one who took this the best.
Yeah, honestly. I was gonna say Dan's holding his tongue, but he was
He looked
thinking
at Rue and
those
was
are
like, "We
rookie
found you in a-"
numbers.
We were just like, Rue, we found you in a statue, and Rue's like,
Yeah,
that,
cool.
yeah, checks out.
She shrugs.
Yeah. Well, everybody I came in with here is probably dead. All right, whatever. Okay. What are their
To be-
names?
To
Whatever.
be fair, I don't think I was held for very long.
I mean, the tomb was sealed between 1 and 200 years ago. That's a pretty good yonk.
Well,
Think-
Some lifetimes.
Think of all the advancements in music.
Elise blinks.
So many vinyls.
Oh no! Oh no! Rue's still stuck on Betamax.
You say you hear this new thing called 8-track tapes?
Wait until I
Alright.
show
Heard
you
of
an
this-
MP3
I've-
player and just own you.
Have you heard of this band called the Beatles? They're fabulous.
Elise pulls out a floppy disk.
Oh god, I heard somebody's ding on the phone. That's just like, ding. There's the floppy disk. All right. So now that you guys have these petrified statues pulled out, what are you guys going to do?
Well, since I got my spell back, I'm gonna immediately knock out both of my largest spells. Restoration.
Greater
On both of
restoration.
them.
All right. And as the statues flick off, much like Gold did before and Shago after that. Yeah, you see that there are the two Chultan women come to life before you.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Have to find out how menacing I look to somebody who's recently come out of petrification.
Gold kind of puts his hands up to the women. They instinctively kind of grab their bows, but Gold just chimes up, No, it's okay. These adventurers saved you. And myself. They relax and they go to stow their bows. Thank you. Well, I'm kind of at a loss for words. How long has it been? What year is it? Gold just kind of chimes in. We've been here for 25 years. But not long, sister. This one cat steps forward. I am Kwani. And this is my sister Shabara.
Insert introductions here.
If it makes you feel any better, the creature that did this to you has been taken care of.
Well, it's comforting at least. You have our thanks again. We found these ruins and we were scouting out for treasures and we saw the beautiful stones that were in the bottom. We thought we could take some of them for trinkets, but
Yeah, that wasn't the smartest idea now, was it?
Also, they're not really stones. They're just animals that she looked at.
Then they kind of, they have that worried expression on their face like, oh, right.
Yeah, I wonder how a squirrel got into the water for her to look at her. She was just throwing everything that she came across in there.
Be too strange. It's all alone here, bored,
I
crazy.
I need masonry, but I don't have enough rocks. Like squirrels. If I petrify you and pop off a tail, you can kind of be. Are you telling me this cathedral's completely made of petrified squirrels?
No, just the foundation.
Yeah.
No, Rabbit. There's turtles and lizards too.
Right, because if a cathedral was made of completely of petrified squirrels, that would be a little nuts.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Damn it.
Just a tad.
Well,
Yeah, that.
well, we're probably going to go check out the one place that's still intact that she was living in and see if there's anything worth taking, but from what we've seen, she wasn't exactly much of a hoarder.
If you'd
Alright.
like, I could come with you. When I sensed that place with my technique, it was incredibly cursed. Well, maybe not actually, but Tyrant Bane just walks over this way towards her home.
Enoch just
I'm gonna
pats
say
him
we'll
on
mosey over.
Enoch just pats him on the back. Tyrant Bane, I've learned, if anything, it's that all magic is an inexact science.
Indeed.
I always wondered how the identify spell that Dan can go ahead and find what it does, but can't tell you if it's cursed. Do they obfuscate the curses in some way?
I think it's an issue of what it does. The identify spell goes and it tries to identify magic based on the aura around it, while a curse is a different style of magic, I think.
Kind
It's a
of like
little weird.
what Peggy and all that.
You know what? Speaking of, Rue's actually not going to follow them. She's going to go into the house and she's gonna look at the lotus. everything okay with the Lotus?
Yeah.
The Lotus still a Lotus?
Yep, Lotus is still a Lotus.
Okay.
Just sitting on the windowsill.
Not growing any people in it, is it?
Nope.
Cool beans.
And
By the way-
as your three new Chultan friends make their way over,
Oh yeah,
they
Dan's gonna want us
definitely
to do
get
that.
concerning looks at Henrietta.
Yeah,
What is that? That was not here when we were here.
Oh,
Don't
that's
worry,
mine.
Don't worry.
That is
This is-
yours?
Yep, this is Henrietta. Say hi, Henrietta.
You just kind of hear like a bellowing bark coming from the doorway.
There was a small part of me that just wanted to hear like a doorbell ring.
That is
Say
the
hello,
doorbell.
say hello, Henrietta. Ding dong.
or just the sound of the door knocking.
Dan smiling ear to ear, very proud of himself, and also
know what?
enjoying their reaction.
Can I add one embellishment for Henrietta?
Sure.
What could constitute as the front door as the tug gets rolled out? On the door, there is actually a dog-shaped door knocker,
I love
and it
it.
kind of animates a little bit like an actual Shiba Inu.
I want to
not-
say that
Do not
the
give him
tail
full
is
Hootie
not-
powers.
The knocker.
The knocker on the front.
But Hootie was fantastic and horrifying.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
Fits perfectly.
Why would you not want us to have that?
Because I don't want to have to deal with being the person that has to straight man that when we walk it into Port Nyanzaru.
Who said you'd have to be?
We all know I'm the Charlie Brown. I had a week to come to terms with it.
I forgot about that conversation.
All right.
Oh, come on, you can't tell me it's not a GIF. Hold on. Keep going. But I'm now on a mission.
Well, no, I can literally do you one better, Caitlin. Just check Discord.
No, I found it.
Found it? You found what? Oh, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do?
In general.
Oh God!
Oh my god.
Hootie jump scare. I still love how he got there. Oh, it was like, I'm just gonna do crackhead Mickey, see if they like that, and then he's just at the booth going, "Yep, they like crackhead Mickey."
As you scrounge around the apartment, there's really not that much that's around here as far as usable stuff. But Dan, as you're scrounging around, you see there's a small little box. And as you look around, you see that there's a few vials in there, actually.
Ooh.
In fact, there are... let's see. God, roll for these. 4 vials in there.
Okay.
They're of a... As you're kind of looking at the contents of the vials, they're a black, green, and red swirling mixture inside.
Arcana to identify them? Or I
Uh-oh.
could just cast the identify spell, I suppose, if
Huh.
they are magic.
Enoch, if you have your... That's
I mean-
actually a good question.
Enoch would have his sight up as soon as they walk in just to see if he can find anything, because I doubt that these crates are thick enough to actually obstruct his detect magic.
Yeah, you don't sense anything magic coming from anything inside here.
Nah, they're just random liquids.
All right. Then nature, maybe, to identify them?
Let's see. Yeah, you could try a nature check.
Let's give it a roll. Well, that's a natural one. I'm going to try that again. 25.
25. Huh. As you're kind of examining all the details on here, you get a hunch that based on some of the plants that you may have encountered in the garden on the way up here, it might be a hallucinogenic, perhaps?
Hmm.
Time to get hot.
All right. I'm
Look
going
at
to,
that.
I'm going to take those files and say, all right, no one drink these unless you want to start hallucinating. But now's probably not the time for that.
Keep them away from the children.
Nope,
Mhm.
I'm playing the wrong character for that one.
Drugs are bad, MK.
No, I'm not playing the character that was an alcoholic anymore. I think we all had one.
Don't
have
think
not
you
actually.
need one yet.
Nope. Not.
I have an
drink,
idea
I drink
for
enough
one.
as a regular person. I don't need to roleplay one.
Yeah, see, my problem is I don't drink pretty much at all.
Mm.
I have never been drunk, so I wouldn't know how to play one.
Same. I've just been around people that have been drunk, so I
Mhm.
I
know
mean-
the general gist of it.
It's alcohol when you could just have melatonin sleepy time tea.
Indeed.
This is true.
Take a double shot of NyQuil, honey. Go ahead and hit the bed.
I've had
Open up the
alcohol.
vestibule of dreams.
I've had alcohol. I am very much a sleepy drunk. Just one, the one decent drink. It'll knock me out. That'll do it.
I've drank. I've just never gotten to the point where I was drunk.
Yep. Samesies.
Oh, I have. I actually hate the feeling. I just feel like shit the entire. I feel like a fucking bog standard Frankenstein. I'm like, oh god, I hate.
I have maybe gotten buzzed at most.
Mm-hmm.
I
Anyway,
haven't gotten that far. Anyway.
No, I know my St. Patrick's Day streams. I've gotten drunk with Connor. Okay, that's.
But yeah, so anything else we find in here?
that's really all. That's the only other thing of note in here.
All right, well, so it looks like the only thing that really came out of us being here is that we managed to make sure that we do not have a Medusa attempting to claim the throne of Omu while we are dealing with the Auntie.
That's good, at least.
Good sign.
One less problem.
Yeah, they probably would have gotten along real well because she was also very snaky.
Mm.
Snarky.
You know, until I heard the Medusa term, I thought that it was some kind of variant of a Yonti.
You know, I didn't put much thought into it, but now I can definitely see the correlation. I probably would have thought about that later.
All right.
With that Arcana check from earlier, would I have known if there was any biological correlation between a Medusa and a Yonti?
You don't think so?
Yeah, it just says probably two completely different things.
Oh well.
All right.
Well, now we gotta broach the fact if these people want to come with us, because if so, it's gonna get real snug in Henrietta real quick.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do we have?
I think we I think we have the room, but still.
I just like to think as you guys begin to file inside Henrietta, Dissolve just kind of looks up at you and says, "Oh, there are more of you now. Again."
Petrified people.
Talad, until we get back to actual civilization, it's more of us.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of something called a Medusa?
Say that again, Rabbit. You coughed for a split second there.
Have you ever heard of something called a Medusa, Tlod?
Medusa. Oh, yes. Well, I believe I've heard of one in my travels back home. Supposedly in the Underdark there was rumored to have been one. There's a civilization of Svirfneblum that... Oh, I'm sorry. Deep gnomes, you may call them. Supposedly there was one that was not too far from them, but usually they tend to shy away from it. But yeah, real nasty creatures. They can petrify you with their gaze, although, if you're lucky enough to make them look at their own reflection, it's actually might be enough to petrify themselves. Kind of a two-edged sword now that I think about it.
Really? Hmm.
Well,
I'm gonna look at my Sunblade. Is it shiny? Reflective blade?
It's like a lightsaber.
Ah, just
Not reflective. Yep.
Well-
Invest in mirrors next
Reminds me
time
of a
we battle
basilisk that I
Medusa.
think about it too, because they could also petrify other things.
Have I heard of basilisk or something native Chult, aren't they?
I hate to ask it for your dubs there, Rabbit, but go ahead and roll that nature check.
Oh, I don't know them. They just have 4 legs, scaly, and I can bash them probably.
I think they have like 6
6.
legs, or am I
Yep,
thinking of
it is
something
a
else?
scaly thing.
Ah, you have no idea what a basilisk is.
I shrug.
But yeah, Enoch would kind of like lean out the window, be like, "Okay, so good news, bad news.
Hmm?
You guys are all fine. If you want to make it back to Port Nyanzaru, well, actually, wait, do you even know what Port Nyanzaru is?
Yes, I've heard. Yes, we've. Our families are from there. Yes.
Okay, well, we're actually not headed directly there. We've got a few stops to make along the way. But if you want to head back there, you should be pretty fine.
Suppose I could see if our father is still around, possibly, and I'm sure my mother would miss me. As Goal chimes in.
Just watch out for grunks.
I'm sure your mother thinks you're dead.
Goal just
20
kind of
plus
looks
years,
at.
yeah.
Did you say hello?
No, I didn't. That was Caitlin, not Rue.
That'd be actually in character for her to say, wouldn't it, though?
I think she has a bit more tact than that.
I do.
She does have tact.
It's Caitlin. That's the gremlin. I'm not.
Also,
So-
just imagining these guys are watching us get into Henrietta and just having the most perplexed look on their face.
Yeah.
No, I was put off by it too. But Henrietta's perfectly harmless.
As you hear the door the knocker just bark. Yeah, it's the knocker that's giving that super deep bark.
Yeah.
Part of me also
It
just wants to
barks
imagine,
and-
like, halfway through, like, Enoch leaning out the window, Joho wants uppies, and he brings them up, and all of a sudden there's a pumpkin child in his arms hanging out the window.
Fucking dog.
All right, everybody begins to pile into Henrietta, and
If you think being in cryosleep for 20 years is weird, wait until you see this dog and our kids.
There it is. I could not remember the name of Keir Sabal to save my life until this map started coming up.
Down. So this is where we're at, right?
yep.
And this is where we're going.
Nope. Here.
Curse of Ball is where you're going. Actually, I gotta make some adjustments on the map here. Map, there you are. I need to get out of the right layer.
Enoch's
Let's
just
kick
gonna,
into. Sorry, go ahead.
while Milla does what he needs to do, Enoch's just gonna lean over to Quasha. How come it's every time we take a wrong turn in Chult, we end up in some crazy misadventure?
He just kind of shrugs his hands and says, well, it's rather fortunate, I guess. And Chocolate kind of chimes in, well, that's true. It's a lot easier to follow the river and then make our way to Curse of Ball, I suppose.
Here's
But-
hoping.
Adventures have the fun when there's something you haven't seen in a while. Or that you've known of that you haven't seen before. All right, so let me make sure I got that. Yep. All right, so let's go clear up some more of the tiles around here.
All right, let's kick it into maximum overdog.
A roof.
The dogs, or she sees a squirrel. Oh shit!
Again, it's just minor illusioning a squirrel in front of her on a stick.
All right, so after about 2 more days of travel, oops, hold on, I meant to click the tile, not the name.
Oh no, the city just suddenly moved to another location.
There
Oh,
we
no. Turns out the city is also a moving dog house, but it's cityscape.
They took Kirsabal and moved it somewhere else.
go. All right. Let me just go ahead and change the music up for this. Where is it? Did I not put it at the top? Huh, I guess I didn't, so I gotta go all the way to the bottom, I think. That's not it. Where is it? I had it.
Ugh.
Man, I completely busted that. Well, let's just see. Did I have it saved to the page, perhaps? Oh, I'll just go ahead and read off the music. Or, not read off the music, read off. First of all. Oh. Let's see. Curse of Ball. An ancient monastery overlooks the jungle from its perch on the cliff of a tall plateau. Stone steps and rickety walkways connect the various buildings, the lowest of which is 500 feet above the ground. The main building has a circular maze-like symbol carved into its crumbling facade. Every few minutes, birdfolk either land at the monastery or launch themselves from its balconies and take to the sky. So you're at the base of this very massive cliff. As you're looking up, let's see, what's the weather like today? It's actually clear and sunny.
Could Henrietta climb up this cliff or no?
Does she have a climb speed?
I don't. Well, hold on. Let me check the spell to be sure, because I think it does mention that. Let's see.
Oh,
AC,
Lord. If Henrietta starts Dio walking up this fucking cliff.
No, I just thought of something stupider. Just cast fly on the dog.
Speed of. Okay, it only mentions a speed of 50 feet. It doesn't mention a climb speed. Dang.
But, ironically, Brabbit's plan is actually really good. Oh, boy.
Oh, you see what I discovered in the name of comedy? I am awesome.
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
Hmm.
Fascinating.
I'm just picturing this. Henrietta climbing up the mountainside. Some random bird folk looks out their window to see a house climbing towards them.
Panic?
Yeah,
Panic?
just the one sentry's like, oh yeah, this is why we designed this horn.
This is the exact reason we have this.
He hasn't seen anything for years, and he just looks down and goes, "My time has finally come."
My job has been incredibly boring until it wasn't.
So,
The opposite. It's like the problem that Nail has in Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. He's like, God, this is so boring.
I wish something would happen.
Something
But yeah,
happened.
looking at-
Social activity!
But looking at this, I actually think it'd be a horrible idea to bring Henrietta up here, because where is she going to stand?
Yeah.
How can she
Yeah.
stand?
Well,
Shouldn't.
now here's the question. How do we want to get up there? I'm fine.
Rue points to the stairs.
Now, wait a second. Enoch is like, yes, Rue, that's a good idea until you get, and he draws her eye line over to the sections of, here, there.
yeah, and it's not just that. As you're kind of letting it out, basically all the way up from the ground where you guys are at now, yeah, there's lots of sections that you can see where there are lots of gaps. There's subsections that look like they're a little older. There's some natural cliff faces you kind of have to climb around. There's a mixture of a little bit of everything when it comes to having to climb your way up there.
Oh, fine. Let me see. Where's that giant eagle?
I mean, I can. Like, Zeno chimes in. I mean, I can make. So I'll check the fly thing. See. For each slot above their level. So I could make 6 people fly. Or no, 4 people fly.
I mean, I could take someone on the broom.
I mean, I can fly myself up there now.
I was a pretty
Strictly-
good climber in my tribe.
And strictly speaking, I could fly up there and carry anybody if they wanted.
Ooh, I'll look at you with like an eye glow. Just ooh, fantastic new ways to fly.
All right, well then, sounds like we've got that just about fine. So Enoch will hold up that strange symbol he got from one of the hags. You'll see him be surrounded by his orb of nanites, and boom, he will take on the upper plane. Hopefully, so he does not scare them, as the energy seems less crackly and violent. See you guys up there, and he will fly up to here.
All right. So Enoch begins to fly up to the lowest building in this group. What's
Who's
everyone
taking
else
me up
doing?
on my offer? I need to know how, like, what spell slide I need to go for this one.
Oh, for fly.
I'm riding Bird Force 1.
Giant eagle. That's technically.
This would be the best way to go ahead and start a battle. Is just have you turn into a bird and just drop me like Iron Man.
Milla, it doesn't technically say how many people I can carry. It is.
Let's see.
I mean, I'm going to
Giant
assume that's-
eagle.
What size is giant eagle?
Large.
Large? So that'd probably be like 2 people, same as a horse.
Yeah, let's see. Straight 16.
Let's see.
It's a large creature. Yeah. Yeah, let's say 2 people.
Alright. And I'm going to assume that Tyrant Bane would be hefty enough, maybe, for one.
A hefty,
Question
big,
mark?
beefy boy.
I'm sorry
Yes.
that as a cow I'm so fat.
You're not fat. You're just all muscle.
No, he
Yeah.
is thick. There's a difference.
Mm,
He makes
No.
Scott Steiner proud.
many C's.
I'm so thick.
I'm not fat. I'm just big boned.
All right,
Big
so
muscled.
I'm assuming that Elise, like, Dan, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Rue, like, so.
It's really
well,
just me.
like basically the NPCs. Like who's coming up with the NPCs?
I would think that since you can cover them, most of you probably got the NPCs.
Probably.
I suppose I could transform Yuki into a bird, or I could just carry her. Probably more time efficient to just carry her.
All right.
I'm going to waste one of my level 5, so there's going to be 3 people that can fly other than me.
Well, here's the question: which NPCs are we taking?
How many do we have again? We have so many.
We have like
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
No,
You
we
have
only...
the 3 Chultids, you have Orvex, you have
Oh, they came
Shago.
with us? I thought they were going on their own.
Well, yeah,
And
they
you-
take you up on your offer to make your way back to the Anzaru, but they'll offer to stay with Henrietta.
You know what? Having Chult and security guard your doghouse is always a good idea.
Yes.
And Dave, I'm sure, is going to stay there too.
Yeah.
So that would probably just
What
leave.
Dave feel?
I forget Dave exists.
Yeah.
I know he's there.
So that
Yay,
would probably.
That's no longer Zeno's part of the party. Hey, he's there.
So that would probably just leave Kawasha, Shago, I
Swasha,
guess,
Shago,
if he
and
wants to go
Tawad
with
are
us,
actually
and
curious
Tawad.
about going. Yeah. Yeah, all those 3 are interested in going.
Well, then I
And
think
Elise
Elise would probably just hitch a ride with Dan then, if that's the case.
Yeah, so the 2 NPCs that are going would also be able to fly. So that's one. That's
Three.
what that Roll21 was.
All right. Well, we leave the kids with our new Chultan bodyguards, I guess.
The new Chultan bodyguards and Dan and Dave.
Yeah, I'm going. What the heck? Look, I know we look very similar, but we're not the same.
We are not the.
All right.
Elise hops on the broom.
Very nice. We'll say, as the group begins to make their way up, Enoch, you're the first one to make your way up towards this lower group of buildings. As you make your way to there, you see an avian-like form of a humanoid with bird-like talons and wings and a bird head land on the balcony within 10 feet of you.
Enoch.
Greetings.
Enoch will just wave. Hi. We come in peace.
As he kind of stops and he goes to look down. Friends of yours, I assume?
Yeah. So you may want to go take this to the very important people. We can wait here. But the fate of Omu rests in our hands, and we heard that you might have someone directly related to their royal line.
He's gonna roll an insight check on you.
That's fine. Enoch's not lying.
He squints his eyes. You see, at the building, a couple other Aarakocra begin to poke their heads out. 2 of them are walking out with spears. Slightly defensive position. The Aarakocra that greeted you raises up his hands towards them. And you can understand what they're saying, but
Zeno is
And-
actually going to
You're not
chime
there
in when he
yet.
sees your- Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
there yet. Okay.
yeah, not quite yet. As you hear him say to the other Aarakocra, they come in peace. I will go inform the teacher of their arrival. Once the friends arrive, be sure to bring them up to the bathhouse.
The second he hears that,
Atlantic
Enoch's
Chamber.
just going to think to himself, oh, good lord, we haven't had a shower in over 2 months.
The 2 Aarakocra who came out of the house just nod their heads as the other Aarakocra takes up And he begins to fly towards... Let's see which one.
It does make you think after we've been in a dank tomb for several weeks, we probably don't smell all that inviting.
Well, you might, but Zeno, I was think above game Zeno. Every single time he gets out of something, he just casts prestidigitation on himself. It's like, I need to smell better. I need to smell better. Like, I can't have this.
Like, you couldn't take a bath necessarily with prestidigitation, but you can certainly clean your clothes.
Yeah, most of our party doesn't have that.
All
Two
right.
of us do.
And it's at this point, the rest of the party begins to arrive at this house right here. And if you guys wish, you actually may begin to drag your tokens on here.
Oakley dokily.
Okay. Do like to imagine that Rue just kind of like bird scoops up Tyrant Bane.
Yeah, that's what I imagine too. Just,
Good.
just two talons either shoulder, just grab and then whoop.
Just does that little sideways head bird look down at.
You look down at Tyrant Bane and he just holds his arms out like, I am ready.
Here's a
Puppies.
question: would Rue be able to understand Avian, considering she's a bird right now?
No.
actually
Yeah.
good.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Let's see.
Understand?
Understands it, but can't speak it.
Oh.
I'm taking a look just to make sure.
Yep, I have the stats right here.
What
Giant
you did? Yep.
Yep, Giant Eagle language, understands Common and Orange, but can't speak them.
Oh, I just realized I didn't even need Joho's charm, which is still almost run out, because I can understand Primordial, and Orin's part of it.
Let's see. There shall I go. Alright, at this point, you see a few other Aarakocra begin to kind of poke their heads out of the various buildings that are on this floor here. As the two Aarakocra that you saw up here, they make their way out and they walk forward and they raise their palms forward with their thumb brought into the palm. Well met, travelers. Welcome to the Curse of All.
Ha.
I will wave at him while floating.
Oh,
I am inverted.
Zeno and Avian, greetings.
Just a second here.
Olives gives like a ranger salute.
I'm Brother Korak, and this is my brother Zerk. As the one named Korak is addressing all of you. We have seen many travelers in our times, but none with quite a group such as yourselves, I must admit.
We get that a lot.
Please, follow us. It is customary for travelers, once they enter, to wash themselves in the cleansing chamber, if they wish to stay.
That sounds delightful.
Zeno's eyes go wide, and he just says it in Avian. 1,000 thanks. 1,000 thanks. Oh my god, I've needed this for months.
Dan is nonplussed. All right, it's tradition, I guess.
I was gonna say Rue will gently deposit Tyrant Bane on the stairs, and then she'll
Ah, yes.
then she'll turn back into bird.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
So is this the cleansing chamber, or is this?
Oh, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. As the two Aarakocra walk forward onto the platform. Or onto the steps making their way up. As they kind of collect themselves for a little bit. Brother Kellier seemed rather distressed when he took off to go see the teacher. Forgive our question, but what brings you to Crucible?
So, like I told your brother when I first landed, so there's been some developments to the. It's southwest was Omu, right?
Yes.
Yeah, southwest.
Yes.
Okay. To the southwest in the city of Omu, we were able to end the curse of the Black Day, but unfortunately, a force of Yuan-Ti have taken up there and are looking to take over the city and spread outward. We're hoping to mobilize forces to take back the city, but to do that, we're gonna need to something to stop the trade princes in Port Nanzaru from just taking the city for themselves. We heard in our travels of a rumor that you might have the last surviving member of the royal family of Omu here, and if so, that could help us stop a lot of bloodshed.
You see the two brothers of Zerk and oh god, I forgot, Korak. Just stop, and I want you guys to roll insight checks on these two.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Probably not going to get it, but I'm excited to do it.
7.
19.
4.
19.
Above game, this actually makes sense because one of Zeno's closest friends is a Kenku, so he's naturally gonna be a little bit biased towards the Eric Cochran race.
Fucked up. You think all birds look the same?
Yeah, wow.
God.
Oh, like he was literally told by his friend, like Eric Cochran are all evil. They are all untrustworthy. Because they have a.
So you're profiling, okay?
Profiling. This is not what I would have gone with, but you know.
Like, I know it doesn't sound good in like above game, but in character.
Oh, it does not.
Or maybe he was the one lying to you all along.
Maybe.
Most likely.
Korak. Upon, let's see. Oh, I have to double check what your guys' insight checks was because I was busy looking up other stuff. Yeah, we'll say Zeno, Enoch, and Rue. Shock with a reassuring grin across Korak's face as he thinks about it. Well, teacher would be more than happy to help inform you on the situation. I'm not sure if this is my place to say, but she may have the answers you seek in this regard.
Well then, please lead the way.
Of course, but first, to the cleansing chamber.
Onward.
Our people here are rather astute in traditions and customs.
Scrub the cow. Do it now.
This is going to sound bad, but in my head I'm thinking, what if we get to the bath, we get to the cleansing chamber, and it's just a bunch of bird baths.
No, what you see? What I want is to go into the cleansing chamber, and it's just a table with just like the most yoked Aarakocra with a wet towel, just slaps the table and just waves you over.
Oh God. Now that's stuck in my head. Thank you, Rabbit.
I mean,
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so happy to help the people.
well, no, I could throw one at you even better, Rabbit. To deal with Enoch, you'd have to pull out a buffer.
Yeah, just a card buffer.
Yeah.
Enoch is that one scene in Wizard of Oz with the Tin Man and the Emerald City.
Oh yeah,
He
it's
just
just the
looks
Emerald
scared.
City Spa Day General.
He just looks at you, holds up a finger to be like, hold up, just throws a cigarette out of his beak and just pulls out a fucking card.
Rabbit, even better. There's two of them, and their names are Hans and Franz.
I hope so. That would mean the world to me. You have no idea. I would love that so much.
So, where do they lead us, Rabbit? Not Rabbit, Milla.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this isn't my
Because
campaign.
Rabbit wants this.
Yeah, don't you know?
I have no power here. What?
Oh God, Rabbit sounds to me. He's a dungeon master. Ah!
Oh no!
Suddenly,
He's been thrown off the cliff.
suddenly we're in Dalmatia.
Your time is now.
Oh God, I have to load up the map. But yeah, place yourselves right up here. As I'm actually gonna grab a couple of Aarakocra. We'll say these are the guards as you are led up. And I'm gonna reveal this for you. As one by one, Enoch, you're offered to go into here first.
Okie dokie. Oh boy. So which level? Top or bottom?
You're gonna start in the lower level first.
Okie dokie.
As yeah, you look over, there's a 5-foot basin that is in one corner right here. It's for all intents and purposes. Yeah, it's like a wooden barrel wash basin.
Ah, well then Enoch, since he took off his poncho a long time ago when he started getting metal shoulder pads built into his body, he will just slip off his pants and his work belt, and then take off his sandals, and then realize that his feet have been almost permanently caked black since we've been going at this for a month. He will set them right next to the bath, and then he will just hop in like we did when we found that first bathhouse in, like, what was it, episode 2 or 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
And Enoch will just rest and be like, wow, I did not realize relaxation still existed. Okay, I'm just gonna... 10 minutes, they can wait outside. I don't care.
As you make your way down, into the you hear a clamor coming from above you as you see descending down the ladder is another Aarakocra.
Hi.
Hi. My apologies. You think the brothers would have alerted you of your presence, but just
yeah.
a moment as he kind of makes his way down. Averting his gaze from you, he makes his way in. You see, wrapped in his arms are some towels as well as some bars of soap.
Ah, thank you kindly.
Once you have completed your bath, you may follow me up the steps, and we shall proceed further.
Okay, Enoch will enjoy his soak, properly clean himself, then get dressed and follow the guy up.
All right. As you are led up into the upper chamber of this room, you see there's a wooden case with shelves and candles, and the Aarakocra walks over to the shelf, and you see him reach over and grab a piece of cloth. He takes it and he holds it up to you. Here. It is customary for visitors to don these headscarves. And he extends it out to you.
Oh, okay. And Enoch will very awkwardly try to put on a headscarf with no prior knowledge to how to wear one.
Okay. Oh. He'll look to you and, oh, I'm sorry, you're having difficulties. Here, perhaps I may be of some assistance.
Yeah, please, I don't want to impose, but, first time.
And after a little bit, yeah, you get the wrapping of, it's basically enough to, the scarf just goes over, just over the top of your mouth so that your nose is exposed. And he kind of says, there, that's complete.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little heads up before it comes up. One of our members does have rather large horns, so you're going to have a hard time getting it on him.
I appreciate
A challenge.
I appreciate it.
No, even
All right.
better. Tyrant Bane has just the crown on the one horn, and they'll just have the turban on the other.
There you go. It's perfect.
Ah, yes. Oh, call me Turban Bane.
All right.
Sultan Bane.
Another Kirkra makes his way over at this point and looks into the room and says, "Oh, I heard the commotion. Saw the commotion from downstairs. Yes, brother. We have visitors, and they wish to speak with the teacher. From what I've heard." Fascinating. Who's next to enter the bathhouse or to enter the cleansing chamber?
Me.
Okay.
Me, absolutely. Unless you want to go. Unless
Zeno
you
calls
want to go.
after Tyrant Bane.
I had a question. Does Yuki need to go through this process too?
Please put a scarf on the dog. He's so cute.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Draco.
Fair enough.
All right. So, as Tyrant Bane being the next one to enter, you see as clambering down the steps, you see an Aarakocra making his way. Please, next. As he offers his hand to you.
Does he say it in Orin or because I don't know Orin? I know
He says it in
common, Minotaur, and a moon. Oh, thank God! I will take his hand.
Yes, please come bathe yourself in the basin, and then follow me up the ladder when you're done.
Of course. And I will do so.
All right.
Clean cow. And I will climb up hoof by hoof.
All right. As you make your way up the steps, you see Enoch is wearing a scarf across his face now, as there's another Aarakocra standing next to him.
Oh, there's more. See.
Yeah. We got to wear these scarves in observation of tradition.
Oh, I understand. We have all kinds of different rituals and whatnot with my tribe as well. How do I have a... He's just gonna grab his snout.
Your guess is good as mine. That's why I warned him.
Well, would that be enough fabric for that? Let's see if we can make this work. And he kind of looks around. Here we are. He grabs a larger scarf and he manages to... he manages to... It's kind of weird because your scarf actually has to go over the top of your snout.
Yes. Yes.
It's like a full face mask for your scarf, but as you get tied up, you're now wearing the scarf.
Thank you.
And for the sake of brevity, Dan, as you are brought in, the Aarakocra who is waiting inside the cleansing chamber says, fascinating creature. Well, this one will need to be cleansed as well. So to answer your question, yes, Yuki will need a bath.
Okay, this is going to be
10 and 2,
interesting.
the dog.
She is going to fight Dan, I am sure.
No, I don't want the bath. I don't want
It has to be done, Yuki. It's part of tradition.
You just get a big old dog whine.
You know what?
No.
I have to share this story. When Yuki, the actual IRL Yuki, was a puppy, we tried to give her a bath for the first time, and she flailed around in my arms, almost completely, like, falling out of my arms, climbed onto my back, and I had to lean forward so she was standing on my back. She was having a bath.
Oh,
That's adorable.
We eventually got her in, but I just love that. Like, I was just standing there, bent over while she's standing on me, like, well, this is happening.
All right. But yeah, of course you hear the conversation in your mind as, Yuki's around strangers. She doesn't want to know that she can talk.
Yeah.
And, oh, that's right. One other feature of note as you're waiting here is the statue. You see, there's a wooden statue here that has, flowers and various other trinkets and baubles scattered about the feet of this, statue. It's kind of hard to make out distinguishing features of it. It seems like a lot of the wood, like, for the statue, like where the face is very worn.
Can I
And
roll?
for the sake of brevity, as you're each ushered up and you're donning masks, do you guys need to take a quick break?
I wouldn't mind a quick one.
Yeah, I don't
That would
want
be a
quick
smart
break.
idea, yeah.
That
Sounds
yeah,
good.
that'd be fun.
Bathroom break. All right, be back.
Can I
Bathroom
fill
bio break.
water?
Oh,
But
be right
bathroom
back.
break while our players are getting clean.
Makes sense.
All right.
Wash, the scrub.
Come on, I'll do
When
a
most
special,
people think of a bathhouse episode, they vision much less birds.
I'll do a much. I'll do a fan favorite while I go to. There you go.
Pop that back up real quick. But yes, Chad, I hope you're enjoying this. Not sure if we'll have any other streams besides this week. We're a little too busy on the weekend to try to have another Satire Day stream with me, Wiley, and Citric doing some more Neon White, but we'll see what happens. If there is anything, just stay tuned on my Twitter. I'll try to tweet it out. I know Citric is also dying to get me to play Yomi Hustle with him, so we might try to see if that works out. But I also have a job interview on Thursday, so my schedule's a little all over the place this week, so bear with us, and we'll see what happens. Though, luckily, I just finished today getting everything from last week up on the YouTube, so if you missed anything, there it is.
Oh, good luck at the job interview, by the way. That's actually awesome news.
Yes, I will share the one funny part about this job interview with chat right now. So for those who keep track of our Saved by the Spell Strixhaven game, my job interview is literally on the street that I stole the name of for my character's last name. I'm on Van de Winter Avenue, which, if you know, my character in Saved by the Spell is Daedalus Van de Vente, because it sounds much better in French than it does in German.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I only had to see that, like, sign for the exit for that street, like, 6 times a week for, like, 3 years, so. But I'm going to take a very quick bio break, so I'll be right back.
Yep, I'm here until someone else comes over. So how you doing, Chad? I see you. Like, while everyone's gone, I might as well do some self-promotion. I am 5 followers away from 50 on my Twitch channel. So if you guys have a chance to follow, I'd appreciate it. Me and Draco did our Pokemon Soul Link yesterday. For those of you who came in, I appreciate the view. Unfortunately, we both lost 2 vital members of our party. I lost a total of 3 Pokemon each, 2 of which did not have a partner Pokemon for him. So luckily that he got to keep his. So it's this is kind of awkward right now.
I have returned.
As have
I was just telling him about what happened yesterday during the Soul Link.
Yeah.
We lost. I'm so mad that we lost our. I lost my ace. I lost my Kingler.
Yeah. And I mean, he wasn't my ace, but my version of King Rith was pretty damn strong contender on my team. Oh well.
You ended up getting a better spread though, because I think you have the water type now.
True, but now I don't have a rock type. I mean, I guess I do have a response to birds on my team, but still.
I could technically, I think Aerodactyl's rock flying, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So I could put Aerodactyl in, and I might do that, because tomorrow's gonna be my grind stream as per usual. So I might be able to be hey, you know what? I'm gonna grind Aerodactyl up to 40 or 42.
Also,
I always believe that type coverage is the most important thing when building a Pokemon team.
Mm.
Meanwhile, I also just realized, in keeping with themes, whenever I play D&D, I can't escape birds. We literally just came to a place full of fucking birds. At this point, I almost feel like retroactively someone's gonna put some bird enemies in the other 2 miniseries that I played in.
Well, here's the thing. If Zeno had eventually died, like I thought he was going to long ago, Rhodey would have taken his place. So you would have had that actual animosity between a Kenku and a Aarakocra.
I mean, I don't think my backup character would have cared, because I'd just be playing a different warlock.
I mean, every scenario we're in, I think of my backup character and what they would do in this scenario, and definitely they would be a way more vocal and intrigued than Elise.
Well, meanwhile, I'm not letting Enoch die. I'm sorry, he's a single father now. He has to stay alive.
He has to live.
He must.
He's teaching Joho and the rest how to read while we're traveling.
Hey,
Isn't that enough?
Zeno's helping out. Real quick, I'm gonna do it. Now that people are coming back, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah. Though, one of the other things is that Enoch can only teach 2 types of language. He can only teach, Common and Goblin. So the children are learning both Common and Goblin pictograms.
Perfect.
Oh, that's...
And then we'll have to teach them Sylvan.
The weirdest part is also going to be when our children realize that they can cast Entangle and Knock once a day.
That's going to be a lot of chaos.
I mean, Elise can teach. We have 3 people here that can teach them Elvish.
Wait, we could cast
True.
Knock once a day?
Every one of our kids as a, well, actually, no, it depends. If we gave levels to the kids, Squashlings at 5th level can cast Knock once a day as a 2nd level spell.
Wick was a demon! I love them!
He could turn into a pumpkin, he could eat sunlight. It's fine.
Just normal things.
Wick just knocks down a door going, doors cannot stop me!
I mean, that actually factored into our first fight with a Lich in this game.
Yep, sure did.
Where we met an actual, named hero character from the Forgotten Realms and his horribly cursed item, which I hope is now as far away from us as humanly fucking possible.
Yeah, the dude was stuck in a cage, and Wick was just looking at the Lich that had captured him, and she's like, nope. Cast Knock on cage.
I don't think it's what's gonna happen, but imagine if that guy was the royal, After all this time, we bump into him here.
Well,
Didn't surprise me.
well, no.
Wick cannot be. I just love it. Wick can't be stopped nor reasoned with. It's just. Wick had a spell that. Wick had a spell to get out of prison at any time.
Yes. I'm still mad.
Because why would a good beat ever have to need a spell like that, or like Rabbit?
Because Wick had no sense of right and wrong, too.
Well, he had a sense of right and wrong. He just had a severe lack of impulse control.
I don't know which is worse, to be honest.
I see shiny thing. I go get shiny thing. I don't know what's going to happen when I get shiny thing, but I'm getting a shiny thing.
Yep. That is a button. This button equals button be pressed. Press button.
Just imagining Wick in prison, the door just swings open. Your cells can't hold me!
Well, no. More like, I need to go to the bathroom. Wick, you don't need to use the bathroom. Oops. Already open the door, closes it again. Okay.
Just imagine he would politely sit in prison for a while, and yeah, if he was like hungry or something, then he would let himself out until he was told that he's not supposed to be out.
I wanted a snack. Oh, Amanda's not supposed to come out? Okay.
But yeah, it sounds like we've got everyone back now, so we ready?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, let's get back into it as... One by one, as you're all bathed in the cleansing chamber, you're each offered a scarf to wrap around your face.
I have a question. Could Dan have the Helm of Telepathy on underneath the scarf? Or would that just not work?
Well, if you were to take the helmet off and wrap it around there, sure, you could. It's a magic helmet. It can form to the fabric out there, so sure.
Alright. So he just has the scarf on and this owl-shaped helmet on top of it.
Enoch will just pull Dan to the side and be like, are you sure that's culturally appropriate right here?
There's an owl era cockra in the corner that's just giving him a death glare.
I mean, if anyone says anything, I will take it off to respect their cultural differences.
That's all I ask.
But I would like to have the helmet in the event I need to read someone's mind. Or telepathically communicate to anyone.
My God.
But
So everyone's bathed, so what happens now?
Alright. The two brothers are leading you up this steep set of stairs right here. Now that you have been fully bathed in the cleansing chamber, you are more than welcome to join our teacher in the monastery.
Thank you.
Alright, you're all led up these stairs here, and I'll go ahead and describe this a little better now that you're right up next to it. Grab page. Like this, save that. There we go.
while you're setting this up, I do need to ask, did Yuki get a headscarf?
Yes, she did get a headscarf.
Perfect. She probably hates it.
I tried
She
to
did shake her head a
I
couple
tried to
times.
dress my dog one time. Didn't go well.
Have you ever seen dogs in hats? They're cute, but they do not look happy.
No.
No, I like whippets and hats.
Yes, as you're As you open the door, you are greeted with 3 Aarakocra, who are currently minding the kitchen here. As, yeah, you see, it's a rather simple kitchen that's here with a log table with some chairs, various shelves and cupboards and pantries, and you see there's a door on the far side.
Enoch will just, after opening the door, just politely go, we were told that we were allowed to meet with the teacher.
Yes, and the Aarakocra just point towards the door. Actually, this one, who is right next to the door. Crap. Why is it that? Oh, wrong layer. That's why. This one goes and opens the door. Steps to the other side and waves you through.
Ah. Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta go on the right layer here. As you step foot into this room here, there's a wide atrium of sorts that is set up in here. You see there's a hallway that's off on the left side and a set of stairs that wind up around this massive atrium. And on the floor of this atrium, you see this intricate carving that's... looks vaguely maze-like.
Does this look like the maze that I solved on a statue to find the path all those like sessions ago?
Make an intelligence check.
Oakley dokley. That's a
Bless you.
9.
It's you.
9?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless your habit.
It's you.
Isn't it?
Kind of does, now that you think about it, yeah. Maybe not as intricate as what that maze was, but it is a maze that's similar to that.
I think I solved a maze like this once with my finger. What's the significance of it?
And I have to go on the right layer as... Let's see. This will make it easier if I just... As paste. You see there's another Aarakocra in here, who compared to the other ones that you saw were definitely wearing more
1 second.
simplistic clothes.
My alarm clock just went off for some reason.
Wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Time to wake up.
Cover, brush, and put a little makeup.
Yeah,
Damn it, you beat me to it.
I'm gonna have to throw. I have like 2 alarm clocks set for emergencies, and one has been going off at random times. So I think I'm just gonna have to throw it away.
Yeah,
I
most
see.
likely.
Oh, I know what that is. That's a strip time. Is it digital?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a stripped. It's just a stripped piece of circuitry.
I got you. So you were saying, Milla?
As the monk who is currently in here just kind of looks up, he you kind of see as he's kind of praying, you know, just kneeling down on the floor here. He looks at you and he stands up. A maze like this one, you say? Welcome to our monastery.
Hello. Are you the teacher?
Oh, no, I am not the teacher. I am but a humble servant. I am Ikek.
I'm going to try not to laugh at that.
Yes, the Enoch version of an Aarakocra.
Well, no, I first heard his name has Kek in it, but now E-Kek, that's even worse.
Who's your brother? Labored.
All right. But yeah,
Mm.
I'd say,
Beard.
well, me and my friends have business with the teacher, so I'm just going to wait for them here.
Oh.
Wait for everyone else to get here.
Right on cue as the rest of you begin to make your way in here. You hear a flapping of wings coming from behind you as You see another, you see two Aarakocra flying in from the balcony that is just off to the south of where you guys are standing. One of which is definitely an older looking Aarakocra compared to the other one, which you recognize as a Kellier. As this Aarakocra has a walking stick for a staff as she lands and she steadies herself with it. Ah, so you are the visitors who have blessed yourselves with this presence. Welcome on behalf of everyone here to Crucible. I am Ashara.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for allowing us entry.
She locks her talons around her staff and she humbly bows towards you.
Enoch will bow too, because he does not understand customs, so he just repeats the ones he sees.
If what Brother Kellier says is true, you come seeking the Lost Royals, as it were.
Yes.
Perhaps there may be a chance to introduce you to them. They've been rather busy in their studies, but perhaps come supper time we shall be able to discuss this further. But please tell me, how did you come across this information, perhaps?
You're gonna have to refresh us, because that's one of those things you told us a long time ago and we all just kind of remembered.
Well, if I remember correctly, I heard a rumor while we were in Port Nyanzaru a long, long time ago that the Royal was here.
So then I will leave that to Dan to explain.
Oh. Well, while in Port Nyanzaru, I heard a rumor about a Royal potentially being here from Omu. So, literally just a rumor that we heard.
Well, as Ashara writes herself up, well, truth be told, you're technically half right. There are, in fact, two.
Oh! Enoch says immediately, now very tight-lipped. Just,
We have been entrusted with the care of the prince and princess of the lost lineage, Princess Waxrani, as well as her younger brother. As, just to pause for a hot second, I'm having to remember his name because it's been quite some time.
if you want some help, they are both technically in the back with all of the stats.
Yep. And Prince Na has been quite the blessing upon us.
So you're saying he's a nah, bro?
No, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought it.
I heard Nas and I was like, Lil Nas is in this. Lil Nas X, really?
Well, no, that'd be bad for us because that would then mean that he is a fiend warlock.
Wouldn't he
We
be
all
a
seen the
fiend
music
bard?
video.
Yes.
I
There's
was a fiend
no
warlock bard.
downsides.
Man, hold on a sec. Let's see if the microphone can pick this up.
It
Ow.
did.
I'm face palming so hard at that.
Yeah, it
knob.
picked it up.
I heard that.
Yo, is there a summoner wizard called Tower of the Creator? I need to know. This is so important. You have no idea.
Run that by me one more time before I take my drink.
There's a summoner
Is there a
wizard
half-elf
called
that's
Tyler
covered
the
in face
Creator.
Is there a half-elf covered in face tattoos going by the name Post?
Post.
All right.
All right, I'm done. I'm
yeah.
done. I had
All
my
right.
fun. I had my fun. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Okay.
Well.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
as Ashara having a beaming smile at that, yes. They have been our charge for ever since their mother came and brought them to us many years ago. But it has not been easy for them, but we have done our best to take care of them in her stead.
Well, if they are amenable to helping us, you can be sure that we will do everything in our power to protect them.
It is my tribe's charge.
As Ashara just... She turns an inquisitive eye towards you, Tyrant Bane. Oh. Yes. The Minotaur tribes have been working their way to Omu, if I recall correctly.
Yes, I'm a member of the Sunblades of Napaka.
My scouts who frequent around Omu have told me about your struggles to deal with the Yuan-Ti threat there.
And when we go ahead and close one chapter in this story, another one raises its head.
So, you have been to Omu then?
Yes.
As Ashara just looks over to the rest of you.
What? Yeah, some of us were even born there. Gestures towards Rue.
She waves.
Yo, what up?
So much is to be discussed. Question: who's got the highest passive perception out of the group? As I look over towards potentially Rue and Elise.
Ooh, it's not Tyrant Bane, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think
Mine
I'm the
is
wisdom
certainly not Dan
casters.
either.
Mine is 18.
Mine is 10.
Mine's 11.
Mine is 10.
I'm one higher than several people. I was not expecting this. Yuki has 13.
Yeah, I'm not gonna beat either Caitlin or Elise, so it's one of them.
Yeah, mine's 18.
You're
Alright.
my what now?
Passive perception.
Passive
You beat me actually.
Alright, so Rue. Let's see. I have to roll. Yeah. You hear a shuffling coming from the balcony above. As you're looking up, you see this this atrium, which is it goes up about 60 feet from where you're standing, and about 30 feet up. I have to go find a handout for this, but player handouts, NPCs. You see a pair of heads just poking out and keeping an eye on you above the balcony, and I'll show this to everyone.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You live with birds long enough, you just get feather cloaks.
That's just the rules.
It's a material they have laying around. They're like, well, we molt, and you need that to live, so here you go.
I'd wear a cloak like that. Pretty cool.
Oh,
You
yeah,
see-
absolutely.
For those of you in the chat, you see Ruru sees a very young Chultan girl. Well, not necessarily as young a Chultan girl. Adorned in jewelry and a feather cloak with a stick, peering over the top of the balcony of the railings and sticking his head through the railing in order to keep an eye down. You see a Chultan boy, at least what you can think is a Chultan boy, with his hair done up in the back, draped completely in a feather cloak, while seemingly wearing a mask-shaped beak? Or a beak-shaped mask over his face?
Maintains eye contact.
Ashara stops and you see everyone sees her turn her gaze upwards.
Oh.
If your highnesses would be, if your majesties would be so inclined to return to your studies. As she looks up, you see the girl kind of look down and says, "Yes, Ashara. I was hoping to get to meet them. You will have a chance at dinner. Come on, sister. Ashara wants us to go study again." And they begin to somberly walk back up the steps. And you see them disappear out of sight as the balcony kind of wraps around over the top of you from where they're walking.
It's probably fair to say that the Aarakocra are probably looking up at those kids right now, right?
Oh, yes.
Can I subtly take my little talking lizard friend out from my scarf? And then just quietly place them on the wall and just point at them, at the kids.
You're being sneaky about this?
Yep.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
Let's see. Where's my sleight of hand? It's not horrible. Natural 20.
Damn.
Yeah.
The lizard just vanished.
Well, little did we know it was a chameleon the whole time.
My God.
Yeah, that
All right.
sounds on brand for a druid. Just like, you were a lizard, now you're a chameleon. Who's also a druid. And also you vomit bees.
As the druidic lizard nods and begins to scamper up the wall. You must forgive, walks around she's been, no doubt she doesn't have much for visitors outside of my kinsman in the monastery. Well, as far as the rest of the residents, a curse of all for the matter. She doesn't really have that much for companions outside of her brother.
Well, if they decide to take us up on our offer, they won't be wanting for companions. We still got a fair amount down below.
You know, we do have kids ourselves. If they'd like to play, I'm sure they'd love it.
We have kids?
Oh. I see. Well. Well, if you're... Well, they're welcome to, in about an hour is normally our dinner time, so... once we have that arranged, you should be able to meet them and we can discuss matters as need be.
That
Yes.
sounds great.
In the meantime, you are free to explore around Crucible. As long as you not strain that much further past the monastery up from here. Last couple of residents are reserved for myself and for Moxrani and Na. Otherwise, you're free to explore up until dinner time is upon us.
That sounds more than fine. Thank you for your generosity.
She humbly bows and she turns to Kellier. Brother Kellier, I trust our guests to be in your charge up until dinner. Yes, teacher. And you see Ashara take wing and fly off the balcony.
I do have one question, Milla.
Yes.
Since we all got a quick look at Moxrani and Na, would we have a general idea of how old they are?
Let's see. Well, I'll say it's probably a little harder from that distance to gauge Moxrani's age. But, nah, I'll say it's a little easier. He's a pretty young boy.
Okay.
Based on how he's not that tall compared to his sister.
Yeah. Enoch's just kind of looking up there and just being like, holy shit, this might be the first time I met someone my age in the last year. That awkward social anxiety starts to kick in. How do you do, fellow kids? I'm a teenage father. Oh no, I've already can't relate.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm a 35-year-old father that's 18.
I'm a dude pretending to be a dude who looks like another dude.
Alright. Well, assuming, to be honest, this actually seems, as much as this seems like actually a good place to call the session for today, because it gives me a chance to prepare for your potential, for things coming forward, unless you guys had anything else.
Dan would wonder if they have a library around here somewhere, and he'd probably just hole up there until dinner. I mean, it's a monastery. They might have a library or something.
Zeta would be with Dan on this one.
Well, as you look around the atrium, yeah, they do have a few books, kind of tucked underneath the walkways that are in the atrium. And Brother Kellier kind of motions to you. Well, it's not much, but we do have a few books we tend to peruse through.
Ooh. Dan will, if no one stops him, hang out by those bookshelves and take a look at what they've got going on, see if he can find something interesting to read.
True, and as one last thing, Enoch would be like, well, as a kind of peace offering, since you've been so kind to us, would you like to expand your library? As he reaches in and pulls out the 20 books that they've been carrying around in the bag of holding for the better part of their entire mission.
As the monks who are nearby look to you. One nods, and the other one nods, and Kellier nods as well. If you are so generous, then we humbly accept your offering. As he nods towards you.
Yeah, there's a few good ones. Enoch will say, not mentioning that he's had to read through most of these, concerning the fact he doesn't sleep, and 8 hours is a long-ass time.
Yeah.
He's read every single one of them, cover to cover. He
All
can
right,
recite lines from memory.
I've been reading the same Calvin and Hobbes books for 20 years.
As Enoch is offering the books to the other brothers, Zeno and Dan, you peruse a couple of books on here. A lot of these are, they're kept pretty decently, considering the shelves that they're sitting on are immaculately clean. The books that they on are very well taken care of as well. There's really not that much for, dirt or grime on these books. As you're kind of looking at it, though, one book in particular that you have, Dan, give me an intelligence check as you're kind of perusing through this.
Will do.
Yep.
And there you are. 13.
And a natural 20, 21 from Zeno.
And again.
As you're looking at this one book, this book in particular, you see, this book in particular, Dan, as you're looking at it, it mentions the spell plague. Which, as you're kind of looking at it, spell plague in particular was a time where magic faded from the realm for a short period of time before it came back. But, Zeno, this book in particular, as you're kind of perusing through it, seems very old, to be honest.
What is it about?
Well, in particular, this details how the goddess Mistral, in her effort to stop a being from becoming the new god of magic, sacrificed herself in order to stop a ritual at a key moment, and was subsequently reborn as Mistra, the goddess of magic. Basically from a time long ago when magic was much more powerful in the realms. But after that, after the source of all magic had been severed and came back, the power of the magic wasn't the same as it was back then.
Okay, that's interesting.
I've got a book about the spell plagues. Pretty interesting too. What's yours about?
Mine's about the goddess of magic herself.
Ooh. I wonder if we have time for both of us to read both or not.
I would hope so. Like, actually, really fascinating read. Like, this is the type of stuff I like reading about.
Absolutely.
It's always interesting reading why we can do what we can do.
Dan will nod emphatically. And I am curious about when magic vanished from the world.
Can I see, like, if when reading through this, if it mentions wild magic at all?
Not in this book in particular. Maybe this has to deal with wizards who were able to channel their magics and build massive floating cities powered by the weave. And in particular, as you're reading through the book, when the connection to the weave was severed and nobody was able to use magic, those cities plummeted to the ground.
That's dreary. but
Hmm.
sadly nothing or good read, but not what I'm trying to look for. Like, he says that out loud.
I'm sure we'll eventually figure something out.
I want to get rid of this, Dan. I'm kind of tired of casting spells and worrying about affecting something else. Like,
Damn.
I've been lucky so far, but
Dan will put a hand on Zeno's shoulder. I know, and we'll figure this out. I'm sure of it.
it's not one other friend to die. Like he says, really, really sad. Because, like, above game, he is still guilty, or feels guilty about that.
Dan's gonna hug Zeno. You're not going to let that happen.
All right.
I appreciate that.
And on that note, if anybody else would like to do anything, unless anybody else wants to do anything else, I think that's actually a good place to call a session for today.
Fine with me.
I'm A-okay.
Yay.
I think I'm okay with that. Like, I actually got to show that Zeno actually understands there's consequences for his actions, and he doesn't like that anymore.
Alrighty, well, I want to thank everybody for sticking with us for all this, and let's start going down the horn. Caitlin, where can people find you?
Hello, I'm Caitlin C37. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter, Caitlin C37, where I do art. Commissions are open, so if anybody wants to do paintings, y'all can find all my information there.
Lovely. Milla, where can people find you?
Well, on top of finding me here for Chult Personality, you can find me on Twitter at MillaNinjaNerd, on Twitch, sometimes streaming at MillaNinja. Also, Monday nights at twitch.tv/LeJake, where we play through Heart of the Dragon Queen. Boy, things went south when we arrived in the town. Turns out our carriage driver was a smuggler, and the guards were mad at us. Join us for the fallout of that encounter as we press on and try to catch up to the dragon cult.
Alrighty. DeLuna, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Deluna1338, on Twitter and YouTube at Deluna13. I'm actually going to start posting my VODs on YouTube again, because I realized I haven't been doing that the last month. But I am currently 5 followers away from making 50 followers for my Twitch stream, so if you can give me a follow, I greatly appreciate it. On tomorrow, you're gonna find me doing a grind stream for our Pokemon Soul Link that me and Draco are doing on Mondays. Friday, I'll be over on his channel. No stream on Saturday, as I am going to be moving that day, and I have a party I'm going to go to at that night. But Sunday, like everything going well, we'll have Power Ranger Striber Strike on Twitch the Person's channel. Monday is our usual Soul Link, and that's it for me.
All right, Chaka, where can people find you?
Hello, you can find me here on Tuesdays playing Elise. You can find me over on Twitter at ChacoZombie11. And on Sundays, along with DeLuna, you can find us over on twitch.tv/TwitchPerson for Power Rangers Cyber Strike. We've been off for a few weeks due to various circumstances, but hopefully this Sunday we should be back.
Alrighty. Draco, where can people find you?
YouTube as Draco Magnus. You can find me on Twitter at DMagnus. You can find me here on Twitch as Draco_Magnus. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. On Monday, like Deluna said, we have our Soul Link that we're doing. I believe we're probably about to hit Fuchsia City and/or take on Silphco and Sabrina. Then we have on Wednesday, I'm going through the Shadow Temple of Ocarina of Time, which is totally not horrifying or anything. No, sir. Then On Thursday,
I love how quickly Miyamoto falls off his meds in Zelda games.
Yeah. Isn't it great?
No. I remember when I was a kid and I went to the Shadow Temple and I was like, what's under the well? Oh, nightmares! Like,
No, perfectly normal thing for a children's game. Just a horrifying monstrosity with hands covered in blood and an unhinging jaw. Normal.
and who can forget the rooms full of severed heads?
Ooh, I ask you. Then Thursday. Thursday we have my D&D stream of Odyssey, a Rhapsody of Fire. Our heroes have been through a lot. They reignited the Mithril Forge and immediately got attacked by the goddess of death and dreams in their sleep, and we're all suffering from various flavors of madness. So they took a nice little break in Estora, and they're ready to set off on their adventures again to the next labor. But they may encounter something along the road. We'll have to see how that develops. And Fridays, I'm streaming Reply to Chain of Memories, Reverse Rebirth. We're going to start Riku's story. We're almost done with that game entirely. If I can get 20 subs before I stream Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm willing to play that on the hardest difficulty and get my ass handed to me by Dance Water Dance.
Hey man, Dimix is great. I don't see why you're complaining.
No, as a character, Demis is amazing.
Yeah.
His battle just fucking sucks.
Yes, that exactly.
Like, I especially love Demis in Kingdom Hearts 3 because he actually admits, yeah, no, I'm nobody. Like, I'm a chicken, and I'm surprised I'm even a part of this.
I don't know why they even got me for this, but I guess I'll help. But that does it for me.
Alrighty, Rabbit, where can people find you?
Hey, what's going on? My name is Rabbit. I'm a writer and I'm a comedian. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and you can find my VODs on YouTube at Hey Mr. Rabbit. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can go ahead and see all kinds of fun stuff. You can go ahead and see RuneScape. You can go ahead and see horror games. You can go ahead and see retro RPGs. You can go ahead and see Last Epoch, which is an action RPG all about time travel in a fantasy world. I've been doing hardcore runs in that. In case you've never done hardcore, the moment your character dies, you cannot play that character anymore. And I've also been making it even harder, but making it solo. And what solo means is that you cannot use any characters in between characters. I mean, you cannot use any items in between characters. So once it's gone, it's gone. It can only collect stuff of its own thing. It makes it a very fun, very difficult experience, which is really great. I ended the stream today by dying in the exact same way the last guy died, which is hilarious to me. So, if you can go ahead and find that, I stream on twitch.tv/Hey Mr. Rabbit. I have been known to be funny.
Alrighty.
On occasion.
And lastly, but not leastly, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. And like I said, not sure if there's going to be any more streams for the week because my schedule's all up in the air. But if you are in luck if you still need a fix, I have everything I did last week up on YouTube. And I also want to just give a brief shout out to Lasume the Robot and Tix Dixel, two people who over the last week may have made me feel very happy in telling me how much they actually follow stuff on the YouTube, either in YouTube comments or just sending me a message on Discord. It makes me happy that I'm doing all this, and I'm happy for, that I'm bringing some kind of joy to all y'all. So thank you for that. Yeah. And we're going to head on over to a good friend of ours, one Shadow Dancer Bob, who plays with us in our Strixhaven game. But before we come up with a raid message for that, the quote of the week actually goes to two of us, which goes to Enoch and Rue for, how do you suppose we get up there? Rue points at stairs.
Stairs.
We're literally just a Japanese comedy duo of straight man and...
straight man, straight woman.
Yeah.
It's the driest humor, and I appreciate it.
I know, it's so fun playing off of Rue, because it's just, who is going to have the face of concrete when we talk?
Who is the straighter man?
But I do actually have a good raid message, and it's mostly just a dig at Bob for his new default strategy in all of our encounters in Saved by a Spell, which is, why you always hugging?
Why you always hugging?
Yeah. The last 3 encounters we've had with any enemy, it has involved his character and Artificer taking them down and trying to put them in a chokehold. So yeah, why we always hugging?
Go sleep. Go sleep.
All right. We thank y'all for coming out, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. I'll see you next
Goodbye.
time, guys.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you got him. Never